All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Asian session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And as always, we're happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this evening as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions. Grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, definitely let me know. Drop me a 1 in the chat because I did have a couple sound issues as I was logging on. So let me know that I'm all good. All right, so I was able to get that reset. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let me make sure that everybody has control over their microphones. Hey, we just ask if you're not asking a question or making a comment, let's do our best to keep the microphones on mute out of respect for everyone else. So with that being said, Mr. Carthage, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm doing well, bro. Glad to be here, man. How are you?
Me too. Doing great. Doing great. So moving right along, end of the month, right? Month in. And hey, looking forward to an awesome March. So we got some surprises today, huh? With CPI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So hey, monetary policy is important. What the central banks are saying is important. Not gonna bet against the Fed. We see that the CPI this morning came out pretty sticky and hot above forecast for France and Spain, and we've got Germany with their CPI tomorrow. So that's going to be important for the Eurozone, as we have been talking about for multiple weeks now about a hawkish ECB. So for the most part, fairly bullish on the euros as those anticipated future rate hikes are being priced in right now. That's what's driving that euro. And when you look at sticky inflation like you had in France, in Spain, it came in above the expectation, above forecast, I should say. Just lends me to believe that hey, they're gonna do what they say they're gonna do. So I mean, maybe 4%, right? Upwards of 4% eventually for the ECB. But just more data that lends us to believe that hey, they're gonna continue along their path of hiking rates. And I think tomorrow we've got CPI data for Germany. Let me check that out real fast. March 1st, Italian. Yep. Yep. So we've got a lot. We've got what is that? That's PMI tomorrow for Germany. So yeah. So it continues to be inflation continues to run hot. Now for Australia, their CPI came in below forecast, right? So we saw a little price action prior to the session, and that was 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And their GDP came in under. So slow growth for their GDP. I think that was fourth quarter numbers. Let me check that out. Yeah, GDP for Q4 was below forecast, and we know there's been a back and forth in regards to the potential for them to hike rates as well. But we shall see. So that Aussie continues to drift off to the downside, right? Deep corrections, but we'll see as we move forward how the market absorbs everything, see how these investors are feeling. It's a lot of back and forth, a lot of whipsawing right now in regards to what's going on with inflations and the overall global economy, right? Still, a lot of people are expecting some help from China with their reopening in regards to demand. So we'll see how that helps out with Australia, especially since that's the largest trade partner, right? China's Australia's largest trade partner, along with they're the largest trade partners from New Zealand as well, I believe. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like we say, a lot of back and forth, but you know what? We're gonna focus in on these technicals and see what's going on. If we click over and we take a look at the US 10-year, right? We're at 3.94 on the US 10-year. The 2-year, we still gone several weeks now with an inversion, right? We've got that 2-year coming through at 4.83%. So we're getting a lot of mixed signals, some good signs, some bad signs. It's going to be an interesting 2023. But I definitely do not see the Fed's pausing, here in the United States, pausing and potentially cutting rates at the end of the year. For some reason, it seemed like for the longest time, the market was just pricing that in like that was just going to happen, despite what the Fed was saying. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So look for at least the next 3 meetings looking at rate hikes. Maybe it's 25 for the next 3, right? 25 each meeting. Maybe they get aggressive and go 50 in the next meeting. Not sure. But we will play the markets accordingly. So looking at a strong dollar, but if we go over to the DXY, we'll see that we're coming into, like we were saying before, it's made a nice run, right? Coming off that weekly support. And now we're into a key level here of resistance. So we may be in a situation where we may see a correction, right, in the dollar. Maybe it'll bounce around. Maybe we see that 10-year, the 10-year get to 4%, right? Maybe that's the breaking point where we start to see the dollar sell off a little bit off these levels. Maybe not. But this is where we are. So the dollar has been strong. That's clear, right? We've had a strong dollar after a pretty sizable correction to the downside. So if we squeeze our chart down on the daily, we can see that we didn't take that A out. We found support just prior to the A boundary and we've reversed, right? But again, we were talking about this on Saturday, how we've now come into a key level and some decisions are gonna have to be made. So you can see we're getting a little stall in the price action, okay? Here before, price reversed. Now we're back here again. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, right? Potential double top there. Okay. Any questions on the DXY or anything that's going on fundamentally? No?
No, sir.
Missed a few things there too. As I forgot, I missed the for the CAD, the GDP data came in, right? Stalling a bit. All right, stalling a bit. I think that was an article too. I thought it was. Must have got pushed down. It's been a lot of news today. But yeah, I wanted to read a little bit further about that. But with stall, let's see if it has any articles. Markets misunderstood Canadian GDP, gross domestic product industry. I'll have to read about that later. But yeah, so that came in just below forecast. Trade balance missed. U.S. consumer confidence, right? U.S. consumers becoming pessimistic. Feeling the squeeze. To hear a lot of the investors, right? When you go around the horn and different sources, hey, the consumer in the United States is doing well, and they still have money, right? Money stashed and saved from the pandemic, but credit levels are starting to go. People are starting to go into their credit. And that's not a good thing necessarily. So you can see consumer confidence, right? Misforecast. And then of course we talked about that already with Australia. So yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. But you know what? The technicals are the technicals, right? We found our sweet spots. We trade it. So that's that. Right. Anything that you might have read that I missed?
No, sir, not today, man.
All right. So we are good to go. So taking a look at the DXY, we just saw that. Want to go through a few of the setups first that we were looking at in the Discord. So I know we had come out of the weekend. One I forgot to post was that Aussie yen. We talked about it on Saturday on a 15-minute setup to the downside. So I want to take a look at that to see how that's doing. But we'll start out, take a look at the Aussie CAD setup. That one was on the 15-minute, and you can see how we came in right at that TP1 target. Back this out. So we had an 80-20 play, right? That almost hit that D extension. All right. Ryan, did you play this or no?
No, I didn't play it.
Yeah. I guess it depends. I hung in there. It depends on if you when it gets this close to your stop, that could depend on your broker and your spreads. So, but it
Oh, my
swung the
bad.
TP.
No, I thought you
Took
were on
that
the
one, didn't you?
Aussie. Yeah, I did take that Aussie cash. Yep.
Yeah, to the upside, right? So
Yep.
yeah, that was a good move. I mean, you hit TP1 already, and then you got that news that came out, right, where they missed forecast. But you can see, look, a break and a retest, and it's pushing right back long. So that came in at TP1, right? But this is why I prefer to trade smaller and use the tighter stops, because and I say trade smaller because we divide our risk, right, by our stop loss. So a wider stop is going to bring your it's going to bring your lot size down a bit, right? If you're using that method, then that's all relative to your account too, and your account size, whether or not that's small, right? Once you do the math on that. But didn't hit my TP, so I'm still alive. Oh yeah, see, so yeah, when it yeah, it depends sometimes with your broker and things like that, and where you had your TP at. So that's good. So it's looking like it's going to make it right back there for you, Joy. That's awesome. So that's a good swing. That's a good swing. That's what we look for, right? We had saw coming out of the weekend that we didn't quite get that 382. So we still counted it as an 80-20, and it's looking like it's paying off. So good job for those of you who played it. And I say good job because it takes a lot of patience, right, to play these swings. So that's that. And on the Aussie dollar setup, that was a 15-minute play too, coming out of the weekend. So you can see how we got, so the initial major swing, right, was on this 4. Okay. That's your longer term swing, your large 80-20, right? Stop at the D extension. There's your swing, right? All the way down to TP2. So that was a monster swing there. Okay. But right, you always have those smaller plays right here. Now this one is still trying to do his thing. Right. So there's that upside 382. You can see how we broke that B boundary, right? And there's always a chance that could push lower right into that zone, right? But you can see it's still dancing around, right? Kind of ranging a bit, but it may be ready to kickstart and go to that TP. So that one's still active in play for sure on that. All right. So that's a smaller play off of price, right? On your daily, you can see how you got a major correction. That dollar strength kicked in. Got a bit of a risk-off sentiment market getting spooked a little bit because of the central banks and the rate hikes, and you see a major correction. We know when that market gets spooked and we go to that risk-off type of scenario, we know that your commodity currencies typically do not do well, right? And we can see how that Aussie made a deep correction. Okay, just about pretty much to that 786 range, retested at 6687 daily support. So we'll see. We got a stochastic in the buy zone. We know, right? We know when we look at the DXY that we're the key level. We're the key resistance level for the DXY. So if we get that correction on the dollar to the downside, you can see further momentum to the upside on the Aussie dollar. Everybody follow me on that. Drop me a 1 in the chat. All right. Easy enough, right? So that's where we at. That's a monster play. It did its thing. Okay. One reason I didn't close out. Didn't close out on it. Awesome. Way to be patient. So that's the Aussie dollar. I want to take a look at the Aussie yen because I know it pushed up a little higher in that down AB boundary that we had going. 15. If it was. Yeah, it's still active crazy. Be interesting to see how that one goes. Get caught in the whipsaw there. But we were talking about coming out of the weekend, didn't get it posted. At that point, it was at this level, right around in this zone, I believe, something like that. Right around in this zone. And Yeah, it corrected and turned over. So you can see that stop is up there. And we see it, we're getting that bounce now. So we'll see how this one ends up playing out. It's that 4-hour level there, right? It's giving us some trouble, giving the bears some trouble. So we'll see how that continue to plays out. Let's look at it from a higher time frame perspective. So we take a look at the daily, right? AB boundary, stochastic, right? Oversold. So the momentum may be slowing to that downside. We'll see. Ranging, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now our 5th day. So we're holding below that 9,200 level, but we didn't come in just at that 382 just yet. So let's see what happens with that. We are on the 4, right? We're just getting right whipsawed right now in the zone. All right, so we'll see if that correction to the downside plays out on that. Overall, right, we've been bullish. We know we got the pretty much the double bottom right around here, 50%, right? But then it's just been whipsawed, kind of range bound. So that could go either way. That can go either way. We'll know if it takes out that A on the 15. But it's looking like it's finding good support at this level, right? But we're definitely ranging. You can see how the clouds are flat and it's just moving right through price. So that one's going to be interesting on the Aussie yen. See how that plays out. Somebody will win. Somebody will win that battle. All right. I want to take a look at this pound CAD. Because we've got this set up on the 1. Okay. This is a setup that we posted, and it's making its move to the downside. So that's a beautiful 80-20 plan out there. Right. So we'll see if we can get that TP1. Right. So off that level, it's down what is that? 100 pips or so? A little over 100 pips. So the TP1 171. It's making good movement. Now, here on the 1 hour, that's a 1 hour support level that we got to break. So it's either going to drive right through it or we're going to get somewhat of a bounce. Right there in that zone there. But, and that's that 236 right there too. Stochastic is back in the buy zone on the 1. But this one, I think we posted this last week. This one kind of broke my heart because it missed. But then it recovered. So this one was a real bummer. I did my crying for like 5 minutes and moved on. So this was the setup here, and it came through the stop, but then you see what happened. So it's just a little early on that, a little bit too early. Stopped out, did all types of mess, and then it exploded. So that was man, off that D extension that it hit. It pushed a little bit lower, 50 pips, might as well call it. Then it took off for over 200 pips. So idea was right, timing was good. So that one, yeah, I had to shed some tears over that one. But it is what it is because we're catching the 1 hour move now to the downside. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Any questions on this pound CAD? No.
No.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So this, sometimes when you get in these scenarios, because when you look at the stock market right now, it's a lot of whipping back and forth. Like I was looking at the target situation today, where the earnings came in pretty good, but it was good. It was it was good relative to them taking a drubbing last reporting period. I don't know if anybody remember that. It's been in the group when we marked up the Target and the Walmart stock, and Target came in, right? It made that huge correction, both Target and Walmart. And you're like, hey, you remember that?
Yep.
And it was like, well, we know Target and Walmart's not going out of business. that's a good opportunity if you have a stock portfolio to probably pick that up based on the technical level. So, they reported good earnings relative to them coming off the lows from the last reporting period, but the future forecast wasn't so good. So it's just whipping all over the place, in these markets. That was quite interesting to see that today. But that just reminded me that we had went over those last year at some point when they hit some major lows. But yeah, so that's it on the pound CAD. What I'm basically saying is I brought that up just because, hey, sometimes when the market gets like this, there's some uncertainty in things. Sometimes you trade what you see. You take what the market gives you. And this is that pound CAD. Oftentimes you get in that situation where you just have to take what the market gives you. So this is working out pretty good so far. All right. So makes up for the stop out a little bit and the opportunity that was missed. So that's the pound CAD. I want to take a look at the Euro Aussie as well, because JC called that out in the group. Am I correct in that, Ryan? JC, I believe, yes, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, called that Euro Aussie out in the group. So I want to make sure we take a look at that. Because it's doing this thing bouncing around, but you know what? Hey, winners win. Let's see if we can get it. Right. So we saw that push up out that Aussie news. They missed target, but didn't hold for long. Right. It took it right back. So let's see if we can continue to get that downside momentum to that TP1. I think it stopped out. Yeah, you got stopped out. We're playing a tighter stop. It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
I think I played a 15-minute play, and so my scalp maybe like 19 or 20 pips. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, the news would have got you on that.
Yeah.
That was a quick impulse move. It's all good. It's all good. Journal it, take notes on it. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. That's just about it. So yeah, that's where we are right now. That's still in play. Still in play to the downside. I've been keeping that stop super wide at that D extension. Just trading smaller. Just trading smaller, letting it go, just accumulating pips. But and it might come here and find support and bounce again. So we'll see. That's the downside target. It's still what's that? 22 pips away. So that's got some time. That's one that if it does pull back at some point, you can catch that on a lower chart, 15-minute or so. Yep. Make up for that stop out on that price action to the upside. Yeah, definitely. Keep your eye on it. So that's the Euro Aussie. And Ryan posted it was the dollar CAD, right, Ryan? I know I saw that in my phone earlier.
Yeah. Running the other way. I got stopped out on it.
You did?
Yeah.
You got what? That's moving. Hold on 1 second.
It was on the 15 on the retracement.
Yeah, because the way I got that, I'm good on that. Because that was off of a subby. So, but this one was already in play.
Yeah. So
I'm way out of the range. So it's just kind of just
I wasn't
doing this thing.
I didn't have that larger fib on there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
because I know that
I drew my fib wrong. Also, I'm looking at yours now. I think I drew it wrong because mine was that spike up was because I put it outside the D extension on the fib that I'm not in my computer right now, but
Okay.
Looking at what you have, I know I drew my fib wrong. So that is something that I'll have to adjust. That's what happened there because my stop got hit.
Because even there, because I think this is how the software called it, right?
I think
That
mine
we're,
was at the
that we're
last
working with.
high.
Okay.
Mine was at the last high, right around that 38.2 level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay. So we'll continue to work on that. The larger one is still in play though.
Yep, it is. It
Yeah.
is. That was a good move off the weekend too, though.
Yeah. But I like how the software is finding everybody with the software that we're working with, we're putting together. Is pretty good because it's finding those opportunities for those 80/20s in between, right? So when you get caught in all of this price action that's kind of jumbled together and whipping around, it's finding the opportunities in that off the near term impulse legs, right? So I know it caught that sub fit right around in this area somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And then it's making a correction. So it's been spot on. It's been right on the money for the most part. So I'm looking forward to posting more of those from into the Discord for the group. But this is the overall move that we have. But then it found right a play off that impulse leg, which kind of I think it just sets the timing up a little bit better, actually. So we'll continue to work on it. But I'm liking the results so far. But this is the larger play for the USD CAD, and then there's a smaller play in here, right? So I know the target was 136, 104. I have to relook at this, but I mean where it spotted it is kind of right on because it's dropped off. Let's see, that's 24 pips. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll continue to tweak it. So that's the Euro CAD. Any questions on that, anybody? So that's still active. No D hit yet on that. No. All right. It's throwing off some pretty good setup. Okay. So let me look at this dollar Swiss. So we're trying to, okay, right? So we're trying to get to that 382 target on the daily. That's a long way to go, right? That's a long way to go. But it danced around in this 80/20 zone for the longest time, and then it moved up, right? So we come out of that zone over 200 pips. We've broken, right, through the cloud. Stochastic is in a sell zone. We know the DXY is at a key level, right? At a key level. So the question is it time for that dollar to correct? All right. So here is the head and shoulders that we drew up and we spotted. So based on what we have, we would like to see 4-hour stochastic in a buy zone. Maybe we get to that D extension before the week's out. Right? So we see we got a slight correction, and then we push right back up to that level. So far, this price action pattern is right on the money. Right on the money. Okay, right in the X. All right, over 200 pips. Okay? So that is definitely benefiting from a strong dollar. Okay, so let's continue to watch that one to see. I wouldn't buy it now, right? Let's see if the dollar wants to correct. All types of crazy stuff going on at 15. So let's see if the dollar wants to correct on that. We can see on the weekly that we are really pressing that level. Really pressing that level. Okay. Last time we got a break in that level. See here, look. Past tell you some things, right? So you can see here, the last time we got to this level right here, we held and we declined. We held and we declined. Then we broke through. We got a break in and close, and then we moved up like gangbusters did. Okay. Now we've come right back to this level again. So let's see how we close this week. Let's see how we close this week. That's going to tell us a lot. Okay. Let's see. All right. We can see where the bears tried to take over. Bulls came right back. So that's where we are on the dollar Swiss. Any questions? Anybody still holding that trade? Still holding, Joy. Awesome. Good job. Right. So we'll see if we get a correction on that. That's where we are. And then I want to take a look at the dollar yen. So we know we extended and we hit that 1.618 a long time ago. Right. So here we are. Again, DXY is at a key level. We're at 80-20 here. So let's see, right? Be patient, right? Be patient. Let's see who wins the battle at that key level on the DXY. It's 322 pips to the 382. Let's be patient. Let's just be patient. All right. So you can see here, like this is just extended. All right, this is your 1 hour. Okay, got a 382 there. Here's your D extension for the 1. You see, no rush, no rush. Right? Even if you get an impulsive move on a sell-off, right? We know price will pull back. Right? If you get an aggressive sell-off on the dollar, we know, right? The price will pull back at some point. Okay, we'll pull back. We'll take advantage of it then to the downside. This one was a miss. Right? This one is a miss. Right? That was one from a while ago. That miss is just the bulls have control of the market, right? To chase that extension. They didn't get that correction. That's the way it goes. So that's what a loss looks like, right? You set it up, you plan it in the zone, depending on what your confirmations are, right? But if you're limited in, the extension should stop, you lost out. All right. So you had a 1% or whatever you were risking. But you live to fight another day. That's the key. Any questions on the dollar yen? All right.
Oh,
Cool. So even right in this scenario, right, you look at this case here. And this is why your trade plans are important, right? So we know a lot of times we'll play a 80-20 down to at least a 382. And we know that the dollar's been bullish. So we're under no, impression that an 80-20 correction at this level is going to be a long-term trend to the downside. We know it's a counter trend move. So based on your trade plan, we know oftentimes, hey, we'll trade it to the 382. We know we're in an uptrend, right? So down to the 382, we're out. We know we're in the uptrend. So we wait for a low price. Well, in this situation here, right, we never even got our low price. So if you stick to your trade plan, it's like, well, I'm not buying it either because I didn't get my low price at my sweet spot. Same thing here, right? So we got this 382 correction, but I did get an 80-20. Haven't gotten it yet, at least. And I didn't get a low price at my zone to get long. So if your trade plan says these are the zones that you trade, then you have to be willing to let things go. Everybody follow me on that? Drop me a 2 in the chat. It's something that's simple, but it's very, very important because a lot of people don't do it. And then it throws you all, out of whack, and you get out of rhythm as a trader. Okay. So that's the dollar yen. Overall bullish, maybe due for a correction at some point. We shall see. I want to take a look at these euros. We looked at the Euro Aussie. I want to take a look at this Euro CAD and some of these other ones because we know that those rate hikes are getting priced in. That when you look what happened with France and Spain with the CPI numbers or whatnot, they came in hot. We know there's inflation, so we know that bodes pretty well for the currency and for the euro, right? So we've got a double bottom off this level, this weekly level of 142.33, and we're still pushing up. So we're right back at 144. 40. We know that we've got Canadian GDP, right, stalling a little bit. And keep our eye on oil. We know I want to say that that's down February, but overall down. So we want to keep an eye at this level here, right? Because although I'm bullish on the euro, just looking at price action, right? Support and resistance. It's having a little bit of a challenge breaking that level. I see that. Look at that. It's having a hard time. Hold on one second, everybody. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So we may still, right? So just keep an eye, it's ranging. We may still get price to sell off, right? This has been a crazy, crazy move. So just continue to watch it at that level, right? Could go either way. The Euro Swissy. Right? This is my play here. Right? So you guys remember we originally marked this up a while ago. It was like, hey, bringing this daily fib down, and we were looking for a cloud break. Well, we got that cloud break. Okay. Got that cloud break. Now that's beautiful. See that? See all that crazy consolidation there, ranging. And then look, we finally got the break, right? In a hurry too. So that's a bullish move. That's great price action. That's fundamentals and technicals coming together, everybody. That's nice there, right? So now it's just a matter of, we know we broke out. At some point, we'll get a correction. Remember that 80-20, right? Remember that? Didn't quite go to that zone. You see it reverse? Okay. So now look, TP1, TP2. Okay. It's moving up. So I expect this, right, to stay bullish overall. Okay. So I know I've got these levels like that. We know where that swing originated from. And now we're moving along. Okay. So we may see a correction. That's okay. Right? That's okay. We got that cloud break. And above the cloud, see? So that's how the fibs work, right? In combination if you're using the cloud on those swing trades. Any questions? Drop me a 3 in the chat if you get what I'm saying. We're on the same page, let me know, right? So that's how on swings, you can use that cloud for your confirmation, right? So you know how, the weeks have gone by and I'm like, man, on these Aussies, like, hey, I'm staying patient on these Aussies and I want to see, right, if we can get a cloud break. See? We haven't gotten it. See that there? See how that price it just keeps retracing? And I'm like, man, I get long if I get a cloud break. Okay. Haven't gotten that. So you try your best to form a bias. So if I'm saying, hey, I'm thinking long, right? And I may be right, and I might be wrong. But if I'm thinking long for a long-term swing, then this is where your patience kicks in. See, look here, right? You don't have to go far to see it. Okay. So right now, we're at a 786. Yeah, we're starting to get a little bump. Don't know if it's going to hold. But it doesn't matter because it's not above the cloud anyway. So I'm not going to buy it. But if you come here, look how far this price retraced. Boom. Took back almost 100%. But you see when it broke the cloud? All right. That's the bulk of the move, right? So it broke the cloud, and then look, we got an 8.6 retracement. We expect a 1.18 D extension. Look what happened when price traveled and hit that D extension. It hit the D extension, it formed a high, you get a new AB boundary. Right? So it's not rocket science at all. It's just following the price action. So if we get price to move, and get back beyond the cloud, okay? If everything lines up, then I'll look to get long. Okay, just like it's your Aussie Swiss. See, that came all the way down. Look, see, took it out. But that kept me out of that trade. Right, that kept me out of that trade. We had an 80-20. We know that, right? Which played out beautifully. But for a potential long, hey, I'm thinking long, the Aussie strong against the Swissy, especially, right? The way the markets were going, right? We know we came into January with the markets risk on, stock markets rolling like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Right? Had Chairman Powell coming out talking big game. Hey, we started the deflationary process, right? Markets like, yes, right? So they're thinking, hey, strong Aussie, potentially we may get long. But look, hasn't given us that yet. Haven't given us that yet. We'll see if that support holds. Double bottom, 6,300. Nice round number. Don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because when you come here, though, from the daily, yes, we're getting a deep correction. But you guys remember, I was saying, hey, I don't know. I don't think it's going to come back to this level. We already got around a 61.8. When it was up here, I'm thinking, I don't know. Maybe it touched the cloud and then continues. But your market conditions change. Stochastic is back in the buy zone, right? So you've got that 100% retracement on the 4 because it came all the way back to retest that level. See? So it's just one to watch out for. Any questions on that concept? Okay. So no, right? You had the 80-20 play. make the money and get out. Why? Because my bias on the Aussies, looking at the market conditions at the time, is I'm a bull, right? Now, if you're a bear and you're playing a continuation, you're winning. You're either going to be a bull or a bear. You're not in the game at all. You're waiting, right? So somebody's always winning. Somebody's always losing. Somebody's always waiting, right, to get an opportunity. Right. So if you remain a bear off this 80-20, you're winning. If you're waiting to get long, you're waiting. It moves up, down, and sideways, everybody. Okay. All right. I'm going to look at this NZD USD. All right, to round out these dollars. So you can see how we came into, right, getting close to that level. It's been a long journey, right? Been a long journey, but that direction was right. That 80-20 call was right. Okay. So that's there. You get to this point here, take your money. At least that's me. I don't know about everybody else, but that's a long fought battle there. That's closing in well within range, within the 10%, right? Might snatch the money, or at least adjust it, stop. At least take some money off the table, do something, right? If you hung in there for that one. But that's where we are. So let's continue to watch that one. So that's a move back down pretty much to the 382 there. Any questions on that? To break back through the cloud on the daily. So that may continue bearish, right? Continue to watch the markets, risk on, risk off, New Zealand dollar. Watch those bond yields, right? So as the right, if we get that correction on the dollar, you may see this push up, right? Test some levels. If the dollar plays the safe haven, if you get more concerns in the market about inflation and rate hikes, then it moves to the downside. And eventually that A may eventually be taken out. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting month of March. Okay. Any questions about anything in general? Any comments? Speak now, forever hold your peace, at least until tomorrow morning.
No, sir.
I do got a question. I forgot on the VIXI, what was the measurement of whether or not if it was high enough? Was it 20? Whether if it was risk on or risk off or something like that?
On the Ryan, what was that you read on that? What was it? Was it
Yep, it's 20.
20, right?
Yep.
20 or 30,
below
20.
Below 20 is risk off, and above 20 is risk on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We're getting a lot of those data points. You know, they're not as dependable as they have been in the past because of the conditions. So many different variables right? So many. You got an inverted yield curve. The FTSE's moving back and forth. China's reopening. You know, we got everything going on, guys. We got was the coronavirus in a lab, or was it some humans? We got UFOs flying over Michigan. We got all types of stuff going on. So yeah, good luck with that, right? I don't know. So we shall see. A lot of things impacting the markets right now. All right, Ryan, anything to add before we close out?
No, sir. Keep being diligent, right? Focus on your process and your process only. Right? The more you do that, the more you fall in love with that, the more we grow. So great session, bro.
Yep, appreciate it. Joy student loans. We got all types of battles going on. With that being said, hey, have a good night, everybody. Keep your eyes on the Discord for setups that we find. And you're welcome, Jerry. We appreciate all of you. We see you tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New Year session. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.